Virtual summits are the most powerful online marketing tool available to grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and create an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. If you are ready to take your summit to the next level, then tune into the Virtual Summit podcast with Dr. Mark T. Wade.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software and creator of the One Day Summit Formula. And I'm on a mission to help you, the summit host, get your summit out to the world in a powerful and impactful way. So let's get started. How losing a multi-million-dollar business helped me discover how to use summits to build 3 new ones and help hundreds of entrepreneurs do the exact same thing. Welcome to episode number 27 on the Virtual Summit podcast. I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software, creator of the One Day Summit, and your host here on the Virtual Summit podcast. So I'm super proud to say, because of all of the support of all of you listeners at home at the recording of this podcast, we have been at the very top of the podcast charts for over 9 weeks now. It's not common that this happens and is a huge honor, but more importantly is a testament to the amazing listeners we have here at the Virtual Summit podcast. So I just wanted to take a moment and just say thank you very much to all of you who have left us 5-star reviews on the show. And for those who haven't, it's never too late. I read all the reviews, and honestly, it means so much to me and the whole team over here. So I'm very honored to be spending time with you today as everyone over in the US of A, the old US of A, preps for the incredible 4th of July celebration. Now, enjoy a nice, refreshing cold beverage and some barbecue or whatever you'll be enjoying today. I'll be celebrating in spirit with you all. Today's episode could be that piece of information for many of you that could really be a game changer. So it's super good that you're sitting here, even though the holiday is right around the corner. You're going to be listening to this episode because I'm talking like finally seeing how you can move your business out of that daily hustle and grind into something way more scalable type of big. Now, I want to show you my exact business model and how I've used this to build multiple 6, 7, and multi-7-figure companies. It's all been around this exact business model. Now, you have my permission to take it, model it as your own, and finally start scaling to that next level. Now, before we get started, you can find all the information I've talked about in this episode over at the show notes. Just go to podcast.virtualsummits.com/027. So we'll have all the information, the links, the transcripts, and everything sitting there waiting for you. Plus, don't forget to check out all of our awesome free resources over at virtualsummits.com. Everything from how to get started with the One Day Summit to our Summitology course and masterclass. Plus, you can get access to our Summit Ascension portal, which has all kinds of awesome summit goodies.
Virtual Summits software makes hosting a summit easier than ever. The only software in the world designed specifically for hosting a summit lets you set up a summit in a matter of hours with no tech skill or team needed. You can try out the Virtual Summits software free at virtualsummits.com. But hurry, this is a limited offer.
Okay. So I think it's important to understand how this business model has evolved to where it is today so you can understand. It didn't just happen overnight. Like, I don't believe in getting rich quick or overnight success schemes. And I surely don't believe what I'm going to teach you is one of those. However, if you implement it into your business, it will help you speed up the process and give you a solid roadmap to get to that next level quicker. So if we actually take a look back at where I started, it wasn't anywhere near where I am today. So if you're just getting started or maybe even a little stressed or worried about how you're going to get to that next level, just know you can do it. Just stay strong, stay focused, and you're going to do great things. I just know it. So I started out in a brick and mortar business as a postural neurologist, 2 doctorates, and dozens of certifications. When I finally decided to go into the online space, it was tough. I'm talking thinking I had made a mistake, ready to pack it up tough. Luckily, I heard my good buddy Pat Flynn over at Smart Passive Income talking about a virtual summit he had spoken on, and I decided to give that a go. Now, for those of you who haven't heard my story, this is actually where the One Day Summit was actually invented. Back about 6 or maybe 7 years ago now, when I tried to run that virtual summit, I couldn't get enough speakers to do a multi-day summit. Now, being an entrepreneur, I decided to get resourceful and I just ran it as a one-day summit. Now, that summit did pretty well. It generated around 5,000 leads and made around $32,000. However, more importantly, that summit became the framework for what grew to be a multi-million-dollar certification program. Now, where did we start? Technically, that is where my health company started. So I have a couple companies. I have Virtual Summit Software. I also run a couple others, but I have my original first online business was called the American Posture Institute, and it's still here today. It's still one of the powerhouses in its industry, and it was the first thing that really generated. So this summit that I did was the first thing that really generated any kind of success for us in that business. However, I didn't put all my eggs into the summit basket yet. I kept going back and trying to do everything else I was hearing people in the online marketing space talk about. So for a few years, I had a bit of business schizophrenia. Every time I was in a tight spot, I'd run a virtual summit and it would save us. Then I'd have some success for a while and then get in a tight spot again. I got really frustrated with why the business couldn't just stay steady, stable, and scalable. I would run the summit, generate a list, and then monetize that list for a while until it started to dry up. Then I'd try to do other list building strategies. I'd spend a small fortune on ads and promotions until I brought myself into another tight spot. And so I'd run a summit and repeat the process. And it's understandable. I kept seeing the money roll in from things we were doing after the summit. And that is what would take my attention and focus. For the first time I did an online launch, the very first time I did an online launch, it was to a list of 900 people, and I generated from a small one-day summit. That launch did $136,000. Can you believe that? $136,000 from a list of 900 people that came from a one-day summit, and that's incredible. So then I thought, okay, I must be a launching style of online business. That's where the big money's coming from, right? Now, it took me a while to actually piece it all together. Well, that was until I almost lost that multi-million-dollar company I was talking about almost overnight. So how did we get here? Now, thinking I was a launch style company, I put everything on the launch. I was living from one launch to the next until one time the launch just didn't hit. It did okay. It generated around $250,000, but the problem was I anticipated it being one of our near seven-figure launches as we'd previously done. So I spent almost $100,000 on ads. Then I had affiliate commission, plus all the extra bonuses and prizes we offered. That is when the empire almost came tumbling down. It forced me to take a look at our business model and see what was working and what wasn't. Number one, we had no recurring or membership revenue, which is why when one bad launch happened, it crippled us. But the biggest insight I had been missing was what was actually generating all the success we had been achieving. I would generate a list for free from a summit, make some money, then turn around and spend all that money on paid advertisements. Why? Good questions. Without any really good answer, honestly. I was just doing what I was seeing everyone else in the online business space do. So I spent the better part of a year figuring out how I could make our business steady and stable without the big ups and downs, and also scalable. Introducing Summit Ascension model. This is where the Summit Ascension business model was born. And it didn't happen overnight. It came from months of evaluating what was working and how we could improve, optimize, and scale it. So essentially, I identified three main things that I needed to focus on in the business. One was generating a quality and engaged list or leads without spending a fortune. Two, being able to monetize those leads and generate reoccurring revenue. Three, improving the process and making it as automated as possible. From this piece by piece, I was able to pull a business model that seemed to be a solid and rational way to grow a business. Now, it didn't generate the huge seven-figure launches that I used to do, which, they sound glamorous, but at the end of the day, are a ton of work and honestly don't really generate as much pure revenue or take-home profit as you would think.
Be sure to check out the speaker management tool inside your Virtual Summit software, which lets you quickly and easily recruit and manage your speakers on your virtual summit, literally eliminating hundreds of hours of work. Get more information at virtualsummits.com.
But it doesn't matter. what matters is getting out of that red zone and being able to grow in scale. So then I tested this on a few other businesses and it appeared to work. Then I started teaching some friends and other mastermind groups. Those who implemented it seemed to get similar results. Now, after a few years of this, I'm confident providing you this same information, you can get similar or even potentially better results. Now, of course, you have to work at it. Find your groove or your niche and put the time and energy in. And remember, no get rich quick schemes here, okay? But if you do implement this, even on some kind of smaller scale, I do believe it will help you stabilize your business and give you an excellent foothold to scale it. Okay, so let's jump into the Summit Ascension model. It's based off those 3 components we talked about earlier. 1, Summit. So it's Summit, Journey, Scale. Summit, this is where we build quality and engaged audience without spending a fortune on promotions. 2, Journey. This is the monetization strategy or the customer journey. 3, Scale. This is where and how we scale past the summit. So let's get into these components. I'll walk you through how I use each of these in our business and how they each feed into the other and build off of one of another. So Summit. Okay. Component number 1, Summit. This is obviously Virtual Summits component. This is how we build, find, and grow our tribe. It's how we generate an engaged list of people who are ready to take that next step with us. It's also how we build our business in the sense of getting our message out to the world, building influence, and establishing ourselves as the authority. We use the Summit framework: conversation, collaboration, empowerment, and the turn. So conversation is how we get the conversation started with our audience. If you want to grow your business, people must know you exist. A summit is the best way to get your message out to the world, whether it's your overall message of your business or a smaller, more specific message that's incorporated in some aspect of your business, like a specific product or niche you work with. It's also, Summits, one of the only ways to build your list for free without having to spend any ad spend. Now, collaboration, the second component of the Summit framework. Collaboration, this is where we build those strategic partnerships and develop collaborations with other entrepreneurs. Having support and partnerships are fundamental to really being able to grow your business, and summits are, again, one of the top ways to be able to reach out and start that relationship. This is also why I call summits a collaborative marketing strategy. Empowerment, the third component, is how we motivate and inspire our audience to take the next step or actions with us. Summits allow you to build that know, like, and trust, or that relationship with the audience, which is super important if they're actually going to buy from you. The last step is the turn, which takes us to the next component of the Summit Ascension model. So component number 2 is journey. And what I mean by that is the customer journey, or what we call the post-summit profit strategy. This is where your customer or audience now moves into the stages of monetization, which is what will allow you to grow your business from an income standpoint. Now, the summit component is not the monetization strategy. That's the relationship and audience building strategy. Now, you will generate revenue or profits from a summit, but that's not the fundamental purpose of it. It's relationship and audience building. Now, with the post-summits profit strategy, we have an engaged and qualified audience that is literally asking you, what do I do next? They are ready for you to help them further and deeper. So I break the post-summit profit strategy into 4 components. We have magnetization, monetization, maximization, and multiplication. Technically, the first phase is the summits component. Magnetize is how we attract our audience and begin the customer journey. This is with a summit. Phase 2, monetize, is where we begin to generate revenue from this new audience. This is typically done with an info or digital product like a course and as a medium priced point. Now, phase 3, maximization. This is the transformation stage. This is where we give our new tribe a transformation, and by doing so, we generate a high ticket or a higher priced offering. Now, phase 4 is multiply, which is the reoccurring revenue phase. If you don't have reoccurring revenue in your business, you are one bad month away from going out of business. And I can tell you that from personal experience. That's some tough love for you there, but it's true. So this is a membership component of the post-summit profit strategy. So just know I want the best for you. I want you to succeed. So I'm telling you this so you have the information. Now, putting these components together, the summit into the journey, you now have a business that can generate new quality leads and then create income. Also, you don't have to keep building new and more things. Just continue to promote your summit or run a new summit and take your audience through this same customer journey.
With the Ever Summit feature inside the Virtual Summit software, you can rerun your summit as if it were live, ongoing forever with one click of a button. This now lets you continue to use your summit forever, bringing in qualified and engaged leads every month into your business. Get more information at virtualsummit.com.
Now, scale. This brings us to the third component of the Summit Ascension model. This is now where we scale past the summit. I don't mean we don't use summits. I just mean we now have to step back and evaluate everything. This is where we focus on analyzing, optimizing, and automating what we have just created. We need to start implementing some type of business framework that allows us to continue to generate leads into the customer journey. We need to analyze what parts are not converting well. We need to optimize those parts to increase conversions. And we need to focus on setting it up in an automated fashion so that we don't have to be in it every day. This actually allows you to increase your income while reducing your time in the business, which is ultimately the goal. We use different frameworks, especially with the one-day summit formula, to insert a way to automate this process. Also, the Virtual Summit software has the Ever Summit feature, which allows us, with one click of a button, to rerun your summit as if it were live, ongoing forever. That has been a huge piece of making all these possible and really revolutionizing summits in general. But ultimately, this is the Summit Ascension model. Your summit brings you in new engaged audience, then generates revenue through the customer journey. And once automated, will continue to do so, which then flows back into the summit component. You can now either generate another summit into this same customer journey or same customer journey to attract customers from a different angle, or you can create a whole new level with a new summit and a new customer journey that will stack on top of generating a new different source of leads and revenue. Once you have 5 to 10 of these, you'll easily have a 7-figure company that's relatively hands-off. Now, how can you use this in your business? So you can use this Summit Ascension model in your exact business, in your specific business. Simple, start with the end in mind. First, do you already have any products, courses, or programs created? If so, then you have part of your customer journey already. Next, you will create a summit to flow into that journey. Once you have those two connected, you can build out the rest of your post-summit profit strategy if you don't have all the phases completed. Then you analyze it. How's it converting? Fix what needs to be fixed and set it to Ever Summit mode. This is done with the Virtual Summit software. And you now have completed one full layer of your Summit Ascension model. If you don't already have something built out in your business, no problem. Just start at the beginning. You build out your summit and generate an audience. They will tell you exactly what they want you to build next for them. It's super simple. Now, hopefully this helps you see how simple it really can be to generate a successful business, especially using summits. It comes down to those 3 components. Generate an engaged audience without spending a fortune to do it, summits. Monetize that audience, that's the journey. And then being able to generate more while doing less so you can scale. That's scale. You may be doing some of this already, or maybe this is completely new to you. I hope you at least check it out and see how it could work for you, because I'm 100% certain it will help you in your business too. Now, I do have a resource that ties into this, at least from a getting started aspect. It's my 7 days to a 6-figure strategy. And it pretty much breaks this down from a strategic aspect and helps you see what price points and what amounts you need to generate to get to 6 figures. And you can use the same formula to see what you need to do to generate 7 figures as well. Now, it's really helpful, especially if you're a visual person like me and you just want to see it all mapped out for you. Now, you can grab this over at the show notes. Again, it's podcast.virtualsummits.com/027. This episode 27. So now what? You got this information. What are you going to do with it? the worst thing you could do is not take any action. I mean, I get it. You're busy and you have stuff you're working on right now. However, if you do not make a change, nothing is going to change. If you haven't already listened to episode 18, I highly suggest you do, because most of us are trying to hit like home runs. We're trying to go for grand slams instead of just getting some small wins. By doing that, you're keeping yourself in this ongoing red zone. If you start implementing this strategy and getting some small wins, those wins add up to large victories. And that's how you get to the next level. So please take a moment today, at least map out what this would look like for you and your business. How would you implement the Summit Ascension model? Then get started. We have plenty of free resources to get started with a summit. We also have our in-depth online training programs to help you really knock it out of the park. Or you can always come to one of our live in-person summit workshops and get it all done in a weekend. Just take action. The worst thing that can happen is to be exactly where you are right now, 6 months from now. I believe in you. I know you have a message that the world needs to hear and a legacy that you need to leave. You are a world changer and an impact maker. So let's get out there and make that happen. And I'm here to support you. Thank you. Go leave your legacy, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening. Now don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on the Virtual Summit podcast. Head over to the show notes to check out all the links and resources from this episode, and be sure to grab your free trial of the Virtual Summit software.
Now, I want to end this episode by saying to all the Summit hosts listening right now, I believe in you, and you can do this. Summits are by far one of the most powerful ways to quickly grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and most importantly, make an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. So don't get caught up in analysis paralysis, because the world needs to hear your message, and there are people who are waiting for you to help them. So just get started, because imperfect action is always better than no action. Thank you, and see you on the next episode.